Fall is the season of color, as leaves turn red and gold and fall to the ground. It is also the season to harvest many food crops and store them for winter use. The fields of corn and soybeans have ripened. Soybeans grow in pods on short plants. There are several seeds in each pod. They can be roasted and eaten like peanuts or ground into meal like flour. To harvest the soybeans, farmers use a special tractor called a combine. It goes along cutting off the plants. Inside, the combine separates the leaves and opens the pods. The leaf material is left in the field, and the beans are collected in a large tank. When the tank is full, the beans are emptied into a wagon and taken to a granary on the farm to be stored. For some farmers, fall is also a planting season. As soon as the soybeans are stored, farmers cultivate their fields to prepare them for a new crop. They also fertilize the soil before planting the seeds. This is winter wheat. It starts to grow in the fall and uses the moisture from the winter snow, but it won't be ready to harvest until next summer. It is time to harvest the ripened corn. The process is much the same. The combine cuts the stalks and peels the corn right off the ears. Some corn is taken to market, and some is stored in the farmer's granary. Most of this corn goes into food for farm animals, chickens, pigs, and cattle. It is used to fatten these animals before they are sent to market. Some of the corn is ground up into corn meal or corn flour and used in making bread. The corn we eat, however, is the garden variety called sweet corn. Huge flocks of blackbirds, cowbirds, and starlings often come to the cornfields to eat whatever grain remains. When most of the grain is eaten, the birds will begin to fly south for the winter. Farmers can also use corn to make silage for the winter. Silage is made by chopping up the entire corn plant, ears, leaves, and stalks, into small pieces. During the long, cold winter, cattle eagerly eat the silage. It gives them the energy they need to live and to make milk when the pastures are covered with snow. In the orchards, the apple trees are heavy with fruit. The apples are ripe and ready to pick. Fresh, crisp apples for apple pies, for making into apple cider, and for school lunch boxes. There are red delicious and yellow delicious apples. These, and many other kinds, are sold at roadside fruit stands. Grapes, too, are ready to be picked. They are made into jelly, jam, juice, and wine. In some northern states, farmers dig and gather potatoes in the fall. Cabbage is a garden vegetable that is ready to harvest in the fall. There are two kinds of cabbage, red and white. Cabbage can be cooked in many different ways, or eaten raw as in coleslaw. Some people like to make sauerkraut out of it. This is begun by shredding the cabbage very thin. The shredded cabbage is placed in jars and salt is added. Hot water is poured over the top until the jars are full. After a last check, the jars are put away for several days for the cabbage to sour and become sauerkraut. Another crop is ready to harvest in the fall, pumpkins. They are a good crop for farmers because most of the pumpkin is canned for use in pies and cookies. But children have another use for pumpkins. Do you know what it is? Jack-o'-lanterns for Halloween. The grain has all been harvested and stored away. The birds are ready to fly south where they can find food and warm temperatures for the winter. It is getting colder and the winter snows will soon come. The squirrel is storing away nuts, so he will have food during the winter when the growing things are covered with snow. Thanksgiving is coming soon. Throughout the summer and fall, turkeys have been eating grain, growing and fattening for the Thanksgiving table. Every year, families gather in the fall and express their thanks for a good harvest. As we look across the table, there are many kinds of food from different farms near and far, planted and grown in different seasons, but all brought together for our table at Thanksgiving time.